was $1,050,000,000. $1,050,000,000. Give me half of this money. Believe me, I can wipe up every crisis in the Northeast. Just have not even the full. Just give me $500 million and see what I can do. But they have so far generated only 268 billion. Even that 268 billion, believe me, I can make this crisis in Borno a thing of the past.
This is Sunday, March 29, 2026. Yesterday, I was not on YouTube. A lot of things happened. Why people were on National Convention of APC. A lot of attacks happened from across the country in Benue, Plateau, in Kwara State, in Ngoshi. Ngoshi that they recently attacked, that was last 2 weeks, Ngoshi was attacked. And the attack repeated yesterday. So from around the country, why people were dying, people were being abducted, people were actually gathering in Eagle Square. And there are a lot of stories from around the APC convention, ranging from the ones we have discussed before about people who were lying down, sleeping without a proper place just to wait for the convention. And after that, people were tear gassed. People who suffered to come from across the nation, the police tear gassed them. Members of APC, their delegates were tear gassed. Like I was asking, what is actually wrong with these people? Like, you are buying fuel at a higher price, things are getting worse for you, insecurity is increasing, and you are still there trying to support your oppressor. Your oppressor is still tear gassing you. Well, people have different, belief and idea, and that is why people are different. So I do not blame them for choosing to suffer. According to Fenda said this is a suffering and sminded. They really want to make something out of their life. They want money, they want position, they want power, they want to beg for more. They just want people to see that they are identifying with a moving train, as they call it. In that process, they are endangering their future, and their present reality is nothing to talk about. So that is aside. And I was also watching Edo State APC chairman. He was lamenting. This is the man who said that no any other party, he said it, the governor said it, that no any other party will come to Edo State to campaign because Edo State is for APC. If they see any billboard, they will tear it down. In fact, no any other campaign is allowed in Edo State. Look at the man is now lamenting that they sidelined and they put them at the back. Imagine they that promised Tinubu 3.5 million votes, they are putting them at the back. Whether the man is even thinking that they are going to count cows like they used to count cows before. But that is not my, concern, because these are just the things happening. They don't have solution to either present reality or future things that will come. They don't have anything like solution to the problem of Nigeria, the problem of mankind, the problem of people living in Nigeria. So all they are doing is just playing games.
That we're not supposed to be put here because normally we're always at the entrance of the convention. Since yesterday I've been protesting that they kept us here because we are a state that has a governor. Not that we spoke to our governor to cross to APC. We worked hard to make a governor for the state. And we expected that when you are considering positioning states, we are supposed to be one of the first states to be positioned because we work hard to flip the Edo State to APC, and we are also convinced that as a state that has promised Mr. President 3.5 million votes to be kept in a place like this is not right. But what do we do?
Now, tomorrow, being the 30th day of March, being Monday, Rabiu Musa Kwankwanso will be joining ADC. Okay. So this coalition they are forming is getting interesting. Now, let me tell you this. Honestly, they don't still have the solution to the problem of Nigeria because they have never, pronounced the statement. And so many of these people are part of the problem. Don't forget that Kwankwanso is also on the watch list of the US because of allegation of terror sponsor. Now, I am not saying that the indictment has been fully, confirmed in court or all those things. But the indictment proves what he has done in the past. Now, I don't have personal issue with anybody. I used to say it, including Tinubu, anybody. I don't have personal issue with anybody. I have problem with people's ideology. I have problem with the way you believe things that affect your fellow human beings. No matter what you believe in, no matter what you are doing, I don't have problem with it. The problem will only come if what you are doing is endangering the lives of other people, period. If what you are doing is endangering the life of other people. So, like, that was last week. 21 persons were arrested, including 3 Christians. They were arrested by Sharia police. Does that make sense? Does that make sense? When we talk about the issue of Sharia, that this must stop by all means. People think that we are trying to attack a religion. It has nothing to do with religion. We have seen the danger of Sharia. We have seen what Sharia have caused. A lot of our people have been killed because of Sharia. They are not Muslims. They are not Muslim. They have been killed because of Sharia. So that is why when we come out to say something about this, it's not because it is because of our religious ideology or political interest, or nothing is influencing us. It is all about the reality, what is going on. So if people could be killed, people's shop could be sealed because of Sharia, what is Nigeria? Nigeria means nothing. If the Nigerian law is being suppressed by another law, Nigeria does not exist. We are wasting our time. Like, we are just playing. How can, like me now, imagine during this Ramadan period that I travel to Kano and I'm in the hotel, and this Hizbah, they just stormed the hotel and they dragged me out, they arrested me. Like, does that make sense? Now, it might not make sense to you. In all these stories, you might just see it like, say no Martin, until it happens to you. It has happened to so many of my friends, and I understand what they went through. In Yobe State, the same thing. They said a male and a female cannot enter inside one bus in Nigeria. These are the issues we are supposed to talk. If I see anybody who is coming out for the office of the president and highlight the problem of Nigeria, I will follow the person. When I mean I'll follow the person, I will support the person. Why? Because I know that the person is touching the problem of Nigeria. All these things we are doing, it will not help us. This politics upon politics, yes, politics might make you to be in a position and position you where you will have your plug, where you will have your money. Okay? You have your money like temporarily for you and your generation, you and your future generation. You store money for them, you loot money. That is just what people want at this moment. Not because they want a better nation. They don't want a better nation. I have never seen a politician who is going to office because they want a better nation. Just, okay, let me say just few of them. Others are going because they need the power, like it is my turn, not because it is time to make Nigeria great again. Like, it doesn't make sense at all.
Tinubu is guilty of genocide, and I'm not talking about tracing his looting the North and all that. That's for another day. For his intentional denial of aid and recognition of displaced under these circumstances, that has been prosecuted successfully in International Criminal Court as genocide. And I believe he needs to be indicted for that, because I have proof. There's living proof all over Nigeria of how he calls these people's criminals and vagrants and bums. He bulldozes their homes, denies aid, denies recognition. All he has to do is recognize them as displaced. That's all he has to do. And the international community has the money and the mandate to take care of them. But he denies it because they're eyewitnesses. And so Tinubu is guilty of genocide today, and all his administration is for covering up the displaced crisis.
And I still want to put this to you. There are so many people who are in detention because they speak up, they agitated, they fought back, the militia, they did all sorts of things, against this power that be that is killing people, but they end up in detention. Most of them end up being killed. I know that we are not going to give up in speaking up, but what do you think we should do? Do you think that the church is not defending the faith enough, or this is not all about church issue? It's just all about the citizens' responsibility to continue to die? That was in October 2023. We had a protest called End Bad Governance Protest. I was in Abuja. I was threatened to go back to my state. That's if they see me in Abuja, that I'm going to be arrested. Though I was not afraid, because I have a lot of people standing there that if police arrest me, they will go in to do pro bono service, both in the court and everything. So I was not afraid. But for how long shall we continue to be killed? If you protest, they will arrest you. What do you think that we should do about this?
Look, freedom isn't free. You have a wicked combination here. You have the most brutal totalitarian overlords in history conspiring against you. You have the Islamic regime. You have the internationalist, cabal, the political, international banking, all that regime, and then you have the communist regime that is holding these people down. And you think it's going to just be handed to you? If God has called Nigeria to be the vanguard in the kingdom come in our generation, you expect somebody else to come and rescue you? That's not. What would happen if Trump were gone tomorrow? What would happen if Harris won? Would you just say, "Oh well, we suck. Come and behead us"? That's
We
those.
we
The
will, we will
Nigerians I
not
know
sta-
are stronger than
we will
that.
not stand to wait for them to come and kill us, actually.
Well, that's what you've been doing. And it's little by little. It's the frog in the pot. They'll come. They just did to your brothers and sisters in Ngoshe just the other day. Why aren't you standing up now? You're going to wait till it's your neighborhood? Then who's going to stand up with you? Come on. Here's the thing, and I'm going to just say this. If there's another Ngoshe, I think every Nigerian of conscience, of every religion or race or tribe or creed, should stand up and take pitchforks and torches and storm the Aso Rock, the villa. I believe that. Now, as I said pitchforks and torches, I meant that symbolically. They should do it with posters. They should do it with words. Okay, I'm not calling you to tear down the villa. I'm not calling you to street justice. That is wrong. That's what they would do. But stand up. And you know what? The most powerful symbol in modern times among them is the Tiananmen Square Tank Man. Okay, where's the Nigerian Tiananmen Square Tank Man? That got the world's attention. It galvanized the world. Trump is watching. The world is watching. Freedom isn't free. If there's another Ngoshe, I think that the good people of Nigeria should surround the villa and pray for them and sing hymns. March around it 6 times blowing trumpets. How about that? Or 7 times blowing trumpets. Okay? But make your presence known. And if they try to retaliate, Trump will intervene. He'll have to. Look the Iran wasn't hit until the people rose up. Just say it. I mean, this is fact. Okay, I'm not calling on anything violent, but I'm calling on people.
Protest is fundamental human right.
Stand up and speak, and don't let them get away with it. No more Ngoshes. No more. Enough's enough. And don't wait on the white man to come do it for you. My God. Where are the leaders of Nigeria? Waiting for the election? In a sham system that's never had a fair election in history? You're waiting for that? Fools.
Wow. Is United States considering in supporting the change of regime in Nigeria? This is the reason why I'm asking you this question. In the year 2015, Barack Obama participated in removing then incumbent President Goodluck Ebele Jonathan.
Yeah. Oh yeah, no, check it out. I know some inside stuff about Obama and what they did that's psychotic. I have an acquaintance, and this has actually been reported in a very credible source. He told somebody else, but he was top-level military intel liaison, worked under the Obama White House, was in the Global Response Center, the war room, big screen around the world. They had the Chibok girls on the screen where they were being held, and they were ordered to stand down. Now, mind you, this guy worked for the White House. Okay, ordered means who? Ordered to stand down and not give that intel to the Nigerian military, not rescue those girls, let them go. He ended up quitting military service for lifetime career because of that. He couldn't serve the government anymore. And that's when Axelrod was advising, and the Bring Back Our Girls hashtag, as I recollect, that came out of the APC, didn't it? That was an APC slogan. Bring back our girls. Well, they wouldn't have had to bring them back if Obama would have let us rescue them. Okay, that's pure evil. Okay, and that's pure evil. So yes, the U.S. did that under Obama, not the same as the U.S. under Trump. And here's the thing: Trump has some really dear friend presidents and prime ministers around the world that he mentors, that he really helps. Bolsonaro, folks like that. He likes the Italian premier, I believe. But they're the ones that are leaders. They're the ones that get out there and fight. They're the ones that are on the front line, like he is, speaking the truth and getting things done. He doesn't find those people. They emerge. They lead. He doesn't gin up movements. He doesn't meddle like that. But when he sees one that has potential and that's actually doing something, like he does. When he sees that movement, historically, looking at his record, he will back them. And my theory, I don't speak for anybody but me. This is my theory. I've wondered why they're holding on to the 2,500 pages of Tinubu DEA documents. It's been ordered released by a federal judge, but they're still holding on to it. I wonder, like I said, if there's no alternative, they got to work with the guy that's there. I wonder if that's how they're working with Tinubu. Just wrap those 2,500 pages around his neck and make him comply. I don't know. But if that's the case and a leader emerges, I don't see why Trump wouldn't release it and do everything else he could, to get this evil dictatorship to justice. Tinubu is guilty of genocide. And I'm not talking about tracing his looting the North and all that. That's for another day. For his intentional denial of aid and recognition of displaced under these circumstances, that has been prosecuted successfully in International Criminal Court as genocide. And I believe he needs to be indicted for that, because I have proof. There's living proof all over Nigeria of how he calls these people's criminals and vagrants and bums. He bulldozes their homes, denies aid, denies recognition. All he has to do is recognize them as displaced. That's all he has to do. And the international community has the money and the mandate to take care of them. But he denies it because they're eyewitnesses. And so Tinubu is guilty of genocide today, and all his administration is for covering up the displaced crisis. So yeah, why wouldn't Trump intervene? Why wouldn't he and Maduro, the guy? There's just enough legal grounds for it, I believe, as there was for Maduro. But where's the movement? Who's going to take over? Who's going to run if he plucks those people out? That's not emerged in Nigeria, and it's not the Biafran separatists. You see what I'm saying? You don't want to help? Then why would I back you? We need to take over we need to do this instead. This is deep analysis, and I'm shooting from the hip. I'm just vibing with you here. I don't represent anybody else, but that's how I can see it playing out. And I think that's a lot of what's happening.
All right. You just made mention you just talk about the guilty of genocide of something. I want to take you back to 2015. Prior to the election that removed Goodluck Jonathan, the coalition of APC and PDP imported Fulani militia from outside the country. Now, there is difference between allegation and if the people who carried out this thing accepted it. So they accepted that, yes, we imported these Fulani people. We did not import them to scatter Nigeria. We just imported them to rig election. This is what they are saying, and it doesn't make sense. So it doesn't make sense. And let me give you an example. This man was part of the coalition. Look at what he said.
Let me first of all say that the idea of bringing people from outside the country to destabilize I didn't say they brought people to destabilize. What I said was that the idea, they actually brought people into the country with the intention that those people will come and vote for them. I think you understand? And they never realized, they never knew, they were never convinced that they were going to win that election, because PDP was very, very strong on ground. So the fear was that they were going to lose the election. So the only thing they could do was to bring in people who could serve as mercenaries to come and win elections for them through the back door. But when the new PDP came on board and joined them and form the APC and won the election, they didn't know what to do with those people. And in the process, those people became uncontrollable. Many people have spoken.
And that is the Fulani militia we have in Nigeria today. It was imported by the coalition of Tinubu and they are not hiding it. They don't hide it. So
my understanding is, and I don't have firsthand documentary evidence, so I wouldn't publish this, but you probably heard the same thing, that the reason Issa Pantami was in charge of digital information, the Minister of Digital Information, that they'd set up tents and they'd hand out digital government ID cards to these folks in the North, all the people they imported. That's why they had this terrorist scumbag, Issa Pantami. I've sat next to him. I in the October in the Stooge tour that Omokri set up. I was in a very small room sitting right next to Issa Pantami, the guy that has publicly recorded as saying, "Of course, we all celebrate whenever unbelievers are being killed." He said that Bin Laden is a better Muslim than me. That guy was a federal minister under Buhari, rumor has it, handing out the digital ID cards. And it all makes sense when you understand that.
So with this issue, I think talking about whether these people are guilty of genocide or not, it's matter of they have accepted that they imported these Fulani militia that have killed hundreds of thousands of people and displaced millions of people. So someone is responsible to importing this. So I have like up to 10 videos, when someone comes to national television to say something and nobody denied it, I document it as a substantial evidence, just like this incumbent senator again.
In trying to remove Jonathan, there were stateless persons that were from the Sahel region that were imported into Nigeria, and a former.
So everybody knows what is actually the problem, but nobody wants to confront the powers that be. So all this issue we are talking about here is the reason why so many people were agitating that, come on, these people are going to, with the help of the government, they are going to infiltrate our land, they are going to kill our people. But you also say something that is very important, that, listen, you can't leave these terrorists in your backyard while talking about the separation of Nigeria, because they can come into your area, But what about if Donald Trump did not win this election? It could have been the people will just be carrying arms, fighting. And the type of arms we can carry is just shoot, what is it called? Pump action. I can only register pump action. Government can only give me, license to pump action. They can't give me license to AK-47. They can't give me license to all those sophisticated weapons that the terrorists are using.